Martin Guitars has revamped their entire standard lineup for 2025, and with that came some great improvements and subtle upgrades to the line, but unfortunately it also meant some things left, including one of my favorite guitars. But rest assured, we're going to give you some hope, so stick around, all you M-36 lovers. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
And we are here in beautiful San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store. Link below for custom swag, and check out our podcast. It's called the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So we've talked on this channel. I've talked quite a bit about how much I like the Martin M-36. The M-body is very cool. It has, I've called it the Nashville Session Secret Weapon because I accidentally kind of came upon knowledge of a lot of these guys. Corey Congilio is one of that are these session guys, great Nashville guitar players that would often use this particular guitar because it could cover so much ground. And so we featured it on our channel. We've sold quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. And now Martin has removed it from their standard lineup. Boo.
Yeah. And which is such a bummer because if this were just a demo video, you are going to hear the guitar. But just looking at the top, looking at the build and everything, this is like a really perfect example of an M36. And it was probably the last or one of the last that we were going to get. We luckily had a lot of them on order that they've dropped as they've been finished. And they have discontinued these, but they are going to build the rest of them for us. And I think this may be the last one. We might have one more. So if you're looking for an M36 that's brand new, now's your time.
Now, you might ask, why would we do this? Okay, so just from a business standpoint, they've removed a model. They've revamped the lineup. Why would you keep getting them on order? Because that's how good this guitar is.
Yeah.
We love this model. I'm kind of ticked off, honestly, with the fact that this has been removed. Now, and I do get it. Like, you can't keep everything while you introduce new stuff.
Yeah.
So if a double neck 12 6-string guitar had to join the standard lineup, maybe an M36 had to leave.
Yeah.
But it's for that reason, because we have such a commitment for this guitar that we've continued to say, yes, we want as many of those as we can get. But we're also going to talk a little bit today about some other options when it comes to this.
Yeah. So as of right now, it's not just the M36. I believe the OM21 is gone as well, which was sort of a sleeper. Most people are going for OM28, but if you want one that's a little less adorned, you had the OM21, now it's gone.
That was such a cool guitar, too, because it was effectively getting into like a 28 series around an 18 price.
Yeah.
You know, it was stripped down. It was more bare bones from an aesthetic standpoint, and yet still very, very beautiful and a nice guitar.
Yeah, and that's why it's a little confusing as to why those two especially are going, because they're great and unique within the line, but it's also one of those things where it's like, they were only really for those who knew. Like, you got these kind of cheat code guitars.
Yeah, it always comes down to sales, right? And so I guess, you know, if you are fans of our channel, you know we like them, and so you probably know how cool they are. And if you shop somewhere else, you know, in the Walmart equivalent of a music store, you probably don't know how cool they are. And so that's probably what it came down to.
They may only have X series. So
they may only have X series or things that haven't been humidified in a decade. But.
So, to my knowledge, the J40 is still in the lineup, and the J body is different than the M body, and they're both different than the Grand J body. But for this, which is truly a quadruple O, and having that triple O, quado, it's that quado, so a little bit wider across than your triple O 28. Also, it's M36, not 35, but you got 3-piece back, and you got that triple O depth.
It's 35 styled. Is the way I've always thought about it.
Got some dots, got some Grovers, got some 3-piece, got some crisp white look to it.
Quado, that's the name of the guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? Quado.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's basically...
Quado Mosey and everybody's favorite Phantom Menace character.
There you go.
Quado.
Yeah. So it's the same as a J body, but with a shallower depth, effectively. And so that's one of the reasons that it can cover so much ground. It really is the Goldilocks in between guitar, between having something like a Dreadnought and having something like an OM where you can do fingerstyle stuff, you can do light strumming stuff, you can flat pick with, like, you can cover so many different bases with this guitar, and it's comfortable because of that shallow depth. So yeah, I think they're just fantastic guitars, and that's why we've been fans for so long.
So there are 2 M bodies that are as of right now in the lineup, which would be the Johnny Marr guitars that we have shown you, the M6 and the M7. So if you love this guitar but you want a 7th string on it, you're good to go.
You can get it.
The Johnny Marr M6 and M7 are fantastic, and if you like the Quado size but you want a little bit more pearl and you want some more depth, Dreadnought depth, you're going J40.
The real big difference between this and the Johnny Marr, we should say, is the neck. You know, and I think it softened the blow a little bit with the M-36 being discontinued because the Johnny Marr's there. But you should know that it is a full thickness neck on it. Some people absolutely love that neck. And you're only going to find it, on that and the CEO7 and...
CEO7's V? Soft V?
Yeah, but they're described, it's basically the same neck, I think. And I think the Eric Clapton, those all have a very, very similar neck to them. So if you like the thickness of the neck, it's fantastic.
If you don't know, but Eric Clapton and Chris Martin and Johnny Marr are all telling you this is the neck that we prefer, it's probably a good idea. However, one of the best things about Martin, so there may be some other companies that you're like, I really want to get this body style. And they're like, well, we don't make that anymore, and so you can't customize it. But Martin will customize just about anything that they've ever made in their history. They will make it for you. So the M body or Quad O is 100% available in the custom shop. We have, Chris has picked out some very nice wood sets and made some very cool, more kind of 28 style, but like utilizing that body. And there's no M18, there's no M28, now there's no M36.
Right.
But part of this is maybe saying, hey, we like this, so we're going to try to keep it alive, right? I mean, I think it's worth keeping alive.
The one thing I love this guitar, but when it comes down to preference, I've often said that I like the 28 dress style over a 35 dress style. If you prefer the 35 with the bound neck and the Grovers, that's totally your jam. That's cool. I like the open gear tuners without the white binding up the neck. There's something that's a little bit more delicate, about it.
Inlays too.
Yeah, with the inlays and everything.
More.
So we had an opportunity. We did a custom shop event with Martin. That was a lot of fun last fall, and they brought out stacks of wood. Those of you who are customers of ours who came to the event know exactly what we're talking about. You got to, sort through the wood and pick out some really cool things, inspect the rest of your guitar. And knowing that the M-36 was going away, we're like, we're going to do some M bodies. And so we effectively made a custom M28 and M18.
Yeah.
With some really nice wood and appointments. So those are coming.
Yeah. And, when you have an event like that and everybody that you tell about it and advertise to, they all want to get there first to get the best sets of wood. And so the whole rush is in the first half of the day, and then at the end of the day, it's me and Chris and a bunch of sales guys and the Martin guys with a bunch of wood. It's like, what else are we going to do but put together a bunch of cool guitars? So I think those would be very cool. I also think we did this whole video on building custom shop guitars, and Martin may seem a little bit more elusive with that because they don't do a ton of advertising. Like, you can build whatever you want, but it's a really easy process. Yeah, and it's very easy. Hardest part is waiting for it. So if you like this guitar exactly how it is.
Sounds like a song title name. The waiting is the hardest part.
The waiting is the hardest part. I think a good friend of mine put that one out. Chris Brown. Am I right, guys? He's the first person that I thought of when I was saying friend as a joke, because I don't like that guy. Anyway, let's take a listen and then we'll get back to this on the other end.
All right, so there you have it. The M36 is gone. May the M36 live forever. And actually, so you think we have one more coming, right?
I will double check, but I think so.
If we do, and this one just came in recently,
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing to get something that's technically discontinued with a serial number for the year after it's no longer in production.
Yeah.
I mean, collectors know that's kind of a cool thing. So very, very neat. Love the guitar. And like we said, the Johnny Marr continues this tradition. There's always custom build options, and we've got really, really cool stuff already coming with hand-selected wood for it. So if you're interested in those things, make sure that you stay on the lookout for this. But you can also contact us through our website and say, hey, I want the deets. Is that how you would abbreviate, Coop?
Deet.
The deet.
There's one deet. Yeah.
There's more than one deet. There's lots of details.
Oh, this one.
So I want the details on those M36 custom builds, and we'll let you know what's coming ahead of time. Maybe we don't do a video on those because you guys are so excited that you find the home, and you continue to give the M body the love that it deserves.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're talking about. So we've got a few of these left. We've got them more coming. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the M body. Should Martin have put it back in the lineup? Should they bring that back maybe next year? Is it a travesty that the M body has been left behind, relegated only to a signature model, albeit by an amazing guitar player? But does it deserve its love? Maybe they'll do an M28, or would it be a 29 since it's not a 35 and it's a 36?
Who's to say? Who's
to say? Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new to our channel, make sure that you subscribe, you turn on notifications, like our videos, keep coming back for more, and we will see you next time.